bottom line is there's a lot of men out there who hate women. They don't like them. And it comes across in so many different forms. Now, they like the idea of a woman. They like the idea of it. But I think a lot of them are searching another mom, somebody else that can kind of take care of them. And if a man really likes a woman, then he's going to do whatever it takes as well to make sure that she's happy, that she feels safe and secure and supported. What's up, guys? Welcome to Closet Margaritas. I'm Cassie.
Hey, I'm Sean.
And today we are talking about gender roles.
Yeah.
So, Sean, did you know that there's 3 types of gender roles out there?
Hit me.
Okay, so the first one is traditional. That means that the man works and the woman stays at home. The next one is egalitarian, which is they both equally, they work. They both work. And the third one is transitional. That means the man works, but if she want to work, she can work if she want to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I think the egalitarian role is, I don't think it exists.
No?
Except on farms.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, everybody can milk the cow and everybody can sow the pigs or whatever they do.
Wait a minute, but if 2 people in a relationship work, that's egalitarian.
I thought that was like everything is split down the middle, like duties.
Well, yeah, it is. It's saying like the traditional roles that society puts on men and women relationships.
Yeah.
That usually like it's not no cooking, there's no cleaning roles. It's just whoever needs to do it does it.
See, I don't think that exists.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Why?
I mean, nope. I don't think it exists. I think because even when most guys say, "Oh, I cook," let's be real, they barbecue.
Well, if that.
Yeah, and you barbecue like Labor Day, Memorial Day, and like somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
But most of the time, day in and day out, the woman is cooking, right?
So what do you think we have then?
I think we have a hybrid of a traditional and the last one you said.
Transitional?
Transitional, yeah.
Okay. Well, but I work.
You do.
So wouldn't that put us in the egalitarian?
Like totally 50-50?
Well, it's not 50-50. Let's be real.
No. I'm saying like role wise. No, I still don't. I still think that we have separate roles that never cross. Like you hardly ever take the trash out.
Oh, I do not take the trash out.
Exactly. You hardly ever WRD.
Yeah, and WALKDOG.
Yeah. Can't say it because she's here.
Miss Nala's in the room with us, so if we say that magic word.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I refuse to do.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't cook. I used to. And then you like kick me out the kitchen. I guess you was mad that one time when the kids were saying, I make the best meals on earth. Okay.
Can you explain to the people what kind of meal you made? And also, for context, these children are like 4.
Beef ribs.
No, it wasn't.
Mac and cheese. Oh, I used to make them ribs all the time. With the foil paper on it?
Used to. But with this one particular moment, we were talking about a hot dog with a slice of American cheese on top.
Now, come on. You talking to me. I guarantee you there are several people out there right now that are craving one of those right now.
And they're like, Daddy's the best cook ever. And I'm over here like busting my ass making like gourmet meals for them.
Nobody wants that. No, nobody wants that. So, but back to what we were talking about, I do feel like there are, I mean, egalitarian, if I'm understanding it, it's saying literally every role
is split down the middle.
Split down the middle, or meaning like we have each done that role? I
don't know. Yeah. I think it's more so like if the way I see it in my head is that, and there's no rules at all. Like if the kids are up and the husband's up, then he's going to take care of it. And if the trash needs to be taken out and the wife sees it, she's going to do it. So, I think it's like no.
So okay. Rules. So in that instance, I'm dead asleep. You hear something downstairs. That means if you're up, you're going to go check it out?
No.
See?
I'm calling the police.
We're not egalitarian. You dig? We're not egalitarian.
Well, I don't know. That's a whole nother thing.
That's I'm talking
about roles protection. Protection. Yeah. Well, I know that there's some women who can really protect their men a lot better than the men probably could. Let's be real.
Hey, man. I mean, kudos to him. Man.
Yeah. So what do you think is the most common of those 3 types in society?
Unfortunately, I think it's traditional. but I think that people like to mask or misdefine it as something else, but I think they're traditional.
Yeah.
A lot of couples we know, I mean, we see the woman or the wife cooking all the meals, taking care of all the kid stuff,
cleaning everything.
Yeah, between taking them to football and volleyball and soccer, and then cleaning and everything else. And most of the time I see the dudes doing like manual labor, you know, like cutting the grass and taking the trash out and stuff like that.
Or sometimes there's also a fourth type of role, and that's single married mom role, where the woman is doing absolutely everything and the husband's working, but he really ain't doing nothing. Maybe he gets off of work and he just goes off and does whatever he wants while she's stuck at home doing absolutely everything.
So how do you feel like, so let's say the wife, let's say the woman, like she like barely has a job, you know, and the dude is like busting his ass, like he like a NASA engineer.
Okay.
Right. And when he get home, his head hurting because he's trying to solve how we gonna land back on the moon.
Yeah.
Okay. And
back on, or
well, we've never landed on the moon. Let's just go ahead and put that out there right now. We've never done that. Okay. Stop believing that, America. We didn't do it. The Russians beat us.
Conspiracy theorists, stand up.
Yeah. So let's say he gets home and he's tired, and she worked, let's say, a modest 4 hours.
Okay.
Right.
She's like clipping coupons and dusting off butterfly
wings. And the
wings.
kids are at school all day.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it his job then to handle up when he gets home, or is he allowed to have that space because he been working to try to get us back on the moon?
I think that it's not his job per se. Now, that does not excuse him from absolutely everything, because there's also weekends. On the weekends, you're not working. You have the kids. I think y'all should both contribute to the household when necessary.
Yeah.
Also, if you, just because you work does not mean you get a bus pass if you see some dirty drawers on the top of the stairs and you just like crawl over them or walk over them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still have to do something. Don't be nasty, but I would not expect, if that were me, I would not expect for you to do any of the heavy lifting of house chores.
So I will tell you, I still would, though.
I know.
And I do think that it goes back to that statement I was telling you about love, and how love is not a sacrifice. Love is an innate want and feeling to do more, right? And so I think that no matter what, even if I was a NASA engineer, which I'm not, that, you know, I would still do things around the house, because I don't want to feel like you control everything at the house. Like,
but also,
you know what I mean?
it's your house. It's also, you know, and I feel like a lot of people lose track of, okay, yeah, you can have like traditional gender roles or whatever type of role you want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you need, and I hate that statement.
I know. I never use that.
At the end of the day is going to end.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you still have a responsibility for yourself, just to, you know, it's your stuff. Don't you want to take care of your stuff? You know what I mean?
So I was thinking about this topic, and I started to really define why I think people even have gender roles. I think it goes beyond anatomy. I think that way back in the day, I think that people just fell into what they did. I think the dudes went away in the mines, or they were disciples following Jesus, or whatever. They were working, right? And I think the women, they stayed, you know, with the kids. Like, you think of like African tribes and stuff. They were hunters, right? And so they would go out and hunt, and then they would come back and bring like a bison or something like that, right?
But you know, there's some cultures that it's the reverse, where the women
are the woman king.
Yeah, they're the ones that are going out and hunting, and the dudes are like, stay home with these badass kids.
But again, those are gender roles, right?
Right. But where did that come from? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know, like, for us in America, it stemmed from men thinking that a woman's place was in the kitchen because she wasn't smart enough, she wasn't strong enough, all these things. So they gave the most docile and the most, you know, the less, I guess, work to them, and gave it to the women, when it's, oh my God, it's so difficult to keep a tidy house and your kids and yourself together. It is so hard. You know what I mean?
I think it all stems from money. And I think that people attribute money and power. And I think, unfortunately, in a lot of relationships, men feel like they have power over the relationship, aka money. So if you think about like in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, there wasn't the working woman, you know, and even when a woman would, let's say her dude cheated on her and left her, she would pretty much be poor after that. And he would just take the money with him, right? So I think that a lot of women didn't feel empowered to be able to take some of that power back. So I personally think that gender roles in today's society is all based on money.
I would agree. And I think you said power, and I think that has a really big part of it, honestly.
Yeah.
But what's really disheartening is nowadays men who make way less than they women still want that power and still want to beat their chest to be like, well, I want a traditional role where, you know, you need to cook and clean and take care of these kids. But okay, if you want a traditional role, then why are you making your woman work as well? You can't expect her to work and take care of the kids and your household, and you work, and that's all you got to do. Like, let's be real. A lot of women are able to do absolutely everything a man can. Yeah. Now, there's some that don't want to.
Yep. There's a lot. There's a lot of them that don't.
But if they really wanted to, they could. There's really nothing a man can do that a woman absolutely can't. Outside of, you know, you don't have arms or something. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
My point is, I hate when I hear a guy like beating his chest and wanting to be an alpha male and everything like that. But really, you ain't even up to you're not even at the standard, you know?
I would say the best way to be an alpha male is to just do. I don't think it's about saying what you do. It's just doing it consistently. You know, the best way to lead is to follow, right? So I don't think that as a man that you should be saying, well, I do this, I bring that, because y'all a team, y'all a partnership. I mean, when it's a meeting of board of directors, I don't think they're having a pissing contest. I think they're all there for the same reason, to make the company better.
And whenever there is a pissing contest, guess what happens? That company goes to the shits.
It does.
And so I think it's the same thing with relationship. You have to go back to the foundation of, do you even like your partner?
Yeah.
Do you even like them? Because things that you like and things that you like to do or take care of, like, you're going to make sure that you're there and you're present.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to please your partner. And that doesn't mean sexually. That means like in every single way.
Yeah.
So if you see that I'm tired at the end of the day, and usually my quote unquote role is to go and cook dinner for my family, you're going to see I'm tired, be like, hey babe, I can't cook, so let's get takeout.
That's or what I'll do.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Or don't worry about cooking tonight.
Yeah.
I know you're tired, you know?
Yeah, I think it's about, I agree with you. I think it's about building, right? I mean, anytime you're starting a friendship or relationship, you're trying to build something. So how can you build when you're expecting for that person to only do a certain job? Because think about it, like, even let's say even if you're traditional and you never like push your significant other to be more than what they are, right? So you've been making all this money all this time, and then let's say you have an aneurysm or a breakdown, a mental breakdown, and you can't perform the way you used to. Like, think about athletes and how a lot of athletes go broke, right? They go broke, but they have a woman there, but that woman has been so trained and accepted this role of saying, I'm just pampered, just take care of me, where she ain't been hustling and helping the fam out.
Yeah.
And now he can't perform like he used to. And now y'all are both poor, rather than saying, okay, I found my passion, I'm doing what I got to do to help the family out. You need to find that as well.
Well, I mean, because don't you want your relationship to thrive and flourish? I mean, there's work into it from both parties. That doesn't mean a woman has to make as much as a man or a man as much as a woman, but I feel like both of y'all need to contribute somewhat to the relationship. Yeah. I want to make an analogy, because when you said something about building, you have to build your relationship. The first thing that popped in my head is think about a construction site. And you have the owner of the company and you have the workers. Okay. Now, you can't have one without the other.
Right.
The owner of the company, they might provide all the material, but if the workers are just left to just do all the labor without without the help of the owner. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't do one without the other. And so like, it's not fair for you to leave the heavy lifting on your partner just because you're giving them all the money to buy the things. Like, it's still a heavy load. You know what I mean? So if you don't provide them, like for a construction site, if you don't provide them with the equipment to help, you can't expect them just to like do everything. They're not super men or women.
Yeah.
So why would you treat your partner like that? You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting? So I was having a conversation the other day with someone who's in a same-sex relationship. And I was wondering, like, okay, a lot of times we talk about gender roles and we break them down by gender, but I don't know if gender roles really means that. Because if you have a same-sex relationship, I would guarantee you even those have roles.
Yeah, I think gender roles, the ones we're talking about, are exclusive to heterosexual relationships. But good point. What happens if it is a same-sex relationship?
Yeah.
And then say it's two women.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you naturally just be like, okay, to me, I would think it'd be like, okay, whoever likes to do this the most, or whoever doesn't mind doing this, and you should divvy it up that way.
Yeah. I think if we were to summarize it, I think the only gender role that really God applies to all relationships is a woman birthing a child. Birthing, not raising, not adopting and all that kind of stuff, but just like literally a baby coming out of you. Like, dudes can't do that.
Yeah.
Not now. Probably not ever. But that's the only thing that, dudes can't do. So I think that should be the only role that people are like accepting, if you will, if they want to. Everything else, I mean, to me, like if you was Oprah Winfrey and making a bunch of money, I'm perfectly fine with it. Go Harpo.
What would you do?
Be stepping. Be stepping. Yeah.
He has a job.
Yeah, well, no.
No one knows what it is, but he has a job.
That's why I love stepping, because no one knows what he does. He's always had that thick reporter porn stash.
That's true.
And that little weird hair.
That's true.
And
he just exists, which is really nice.
I mean, Gail got a job.
Yeah, she got a job too.
But Stedman ain't got no job.
He has a job. We just don't know what it is.
Stedman, if you're out there, if you're listening, I know you're listening.
What do you do?
Stedman, are you like Tommy? Do you just not have no job? You go to work every day?
Yeah.
No, I don't think Stedman has a job.
So what advice do you think we would give people? Say they are in a relationship where the man likes to think that it's traditional. And he expects his wife or girlfriend or whoever to do cooking and cleaning, but also is like, but you also have to work.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone like that?
First thing you got to do is talk. Okay. You got to talk about this, because I think I've had conversations with dudes that expect certain things, especially like I would say the new age woman. When I say new age, I'm talking about full grown women now. Most of them don't like to cook. Most of them like to go out to eat.
You can't say most. You're generalizing.
Okay. So
some.
A lot.
How do you know?
Well, some is still more than zero.
Okay, but a lot.
No, but I'm not saying that in a bad way. What I'm saying is that I think that a lot of men do, quote unquote, want home cooked meals.
Okay.
They're not saying that to their women.
They're not?
No, I don't think they are. I think they're complaining about them to their homies or whatever else, but I don't think they're saying that. So back to your question, I think that they should talk. If he's like, yo, I kind of like, I'm trying to get my weight up. I'm trying to get, whatever. I'd like at least 3 home cooked meals. Now,
why can't he cook it?
That's what I was about to say. When you're talking, it could be like, okay, we can have like a Wild Out Wednesday where we both cook. We can have, like, I'm saying you got to talk about it though. Yeah,
but let's be real. A lot of the men that are over here saying, "No, y'all want my wife to do this," they're not going to want to do that. They're not going to want to. So what does the woman do in that situation?
Well, I think you got to hold his feet to the fire. I think when you have that conversation, because even the woman can have that conversation. Because let's say there is a dude that likes to play video games all day, and he's perfectly fine at his job, regular job, right? She is continuing to make more money, not more, maybe not more money than him, but more money. she complains about him she complains about him, not to him, but to her friends, saying he has no drive. He's not doing more than what he should do. Right. That's another situation where they should talk, because if she wants more from him to be more of a provider or be more successful and everything else, she should talk as well.
I also think that this conversation needs to happen at the beginning of your relationship.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have this conversation when it's already been 17 years down the road.
Yeah.
You know what type of person you should know what type of person you're getting into a serious relationship on the onset very quickly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you have to know all the ins and outs, because you're going to continue to learn each other. But there's some basics that you got to get out the way, you know?
Yes. And a little bit about me. So I was raised, my mom cooked almost all the time, and she worked 2 jobs. I don't require that out of you to cook all the time.
I
just
don't. Not.
But I don't.
Right, you don't.
Now, but that's what I'm saying. I don't want to come across as being the kind of man that's like, oh, a woman needs to do this and that. The only thing I require out of you is to be a hustler. And when you have the hustle mentality in life, then you learn how to work the system, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing I require. But I do feel like I've heard women say they want their man to be more successful, but maybe that's where he want to be. Like if let's say he he made manager at Aldi. I mean, maybe that's his dream.
And that's great, but he doesn't need to go on demanding that she does this, and that, and having all these demands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you are not holding yourself, to the fire as well, with that same energy, don't come at your partner and be like, I need you to, no. First off, lower your voice.
So do you think, but how would that come across? Let's say, we know society is unfair to women.
Yes.
Equal pay. I mean, I told you about Wembanyama's the San Antonio center for San Antonio Spurs. I think his rookie contract is like $4 million. And Caitlin Clark, who was the face of NCAA basketball, male or female, I think over the next 4 years she's only gonna make like $400. Now,
like $70K a year or something.
Off
like
the court, she's gonna make millions, but on the court, she's not even making a fraction, right? So I think it's kind of unfair already. The game is not set up for women to win.
No.
And I think what trips me out is how many men subscribe to that system, and yet they say they love their moms, their aunts, their wives, their daughters.
The bottom line is there's a lot of men out there who hate women. They don't like them. And it comes across in so many different forms. Now, they like the idea of a woman. They like the idea of it. But I think a lot of them are searching another mom, somebody else that can kind of take care of them. And if a man really likes a woman, then he's going to do whatever it takes as well to make sure that she's happy, that she feels safe and secure and supported.
Yeah.
And to me, when a guy is like, well, I mean, I'm the man, so you got to listen to me and all this stuff. Shut up. Honestly, be quiet. Because what are you really bringing? What do you bring into the relationship?
So I will say this, and I've said it before. I know you said you think a lot of men hate women, but I think a lot of women hate women too. And the reason, and I remember saying this back when Hillary Clinton was on the ticket for the presidency. And I heard from so many women saying, it's just something about her I don't trust.
Yeah, but we're talking about like gender roles though.
We are, but you said you think men hate women. Yeah. I'm just saying I think it goes both ways. Like I think not meaning women hate men, even though that we know that exists. But I just think that sometimes women aren't even empowering each other. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm more so talking when it comes to men and how they view women in a relationship. I don't think a lot of men, and it's the one. Then no, there's a lot of good men out there. A lot. I know a lot, but I also know some trash ass men who claim that they respect women, but then have these really like stupid, archaic, misogynistic views on what a woman should do. Like we've talked about this before. But a statement I always hate to hear from a man, what are you bringing to the table? Like, shut up. Are you serious?
So do you think that's not a valid question?
No, it's not a valid question.
So,
a better way to word that, because you will never hear a truly masculine, a truly alpha male ask that stupid ass question, because he does not need to be validated in his masculinity. He doesn't need a provider for him. He's supposed to be the provider in his eyes. So why would you ask a woman, what are you bringing to me? If I'm the provider, if I'm supposed to be the provider, why would I ask somebody that? I'm the one providing.
Yeah.
So what are you expecting from me?
Yeah, I think the better way to put that is, what is your plan?
Yeah.
Because I will say, I know relationships that fizzled out because the man became unattracted to her drive.
Or threatened.
No, well, but in my experience of the people I've been around, the lack thereof.
Yeah.
So I think that it is possible to find someone that is amazing, and maybe the situation presents itself to where you, either the male or female, you are thriving, you're providing for the family because you love the family.
Yeah.
And you sit back and you start to see the other person kind of go into cruise control.
That happens.
And you can become, and I'm saying male or female,
Yep.
you can become unattractive,
resentful. Yeah.
unattracted to their lack of drive. So I honestly think that that is a role that should be discussed. Like, your role should always be to strive to be more, if that's what you really want. Now, there are some dudes that's like, I'm a prince of Zamunda. You never had to work and lift a finger again. But I don't know anybody that's from Zamunda. Okay?
I don't know if that exists, but
Well, it does. I mean, coming to America, I think that's where he was from.
Oh, was
Zamunda.
it?
I believe so.
Oh.
You can fact check me, but I think
I don't know.
Coming to America won. So I think that can become unattractive.
Yes.
You know, and that's why I think, going back to your original question, when a man says, what do you bring to the table? Because women say that same thing too.
But they do. But here's the thing. Society tells men that you need to be the provider. When some men hear that, they're like, I am the provider, therefore you need to know your place and you need to know your role. These are usually traditional roles, right? Cool. But if you are not acting, if you're not wearing the suit of a provider, meaning you're not making as much as your lady, or if you are making more than her, then why is she working? But you want to bark and all this other stuff, talking about, well, I need to make sure that you need to cook my meals and take care of the kids and stuff. Okay, then why is she working? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It's contradiction.
I don't know a lot of men like that.
I've seen it a lot on like social media.
Yeah,
how men will be just talking about, well, what is she? I always ask a girl, what are you bringing to the table? Yeah, and I'm like, absolutely nothing. Why? You already should have the table and the chairs, and I need to sit down. And then a better question is, how would you, like you said, what can you bring to the relationship as far as like support or emotional value, things like that? Because the foundation should already be set by the provider. And you just are an addition to that.
And I think that's why, and I think you have this, the art of the hustle is so attractive, because if you're in the beginning of your relationship, and again, this is same sex or heterosexual relationships, and y'all plan on raising kids in some fashion or form, you're gonna want your kids to see some form of working together, thriving, hustling, graduating to different levels, because that should instill a feeling for them that they can do all.
Yes, and they should support each other.
Yeah, but if you have, I wonder, for relationships where, and people please comment, let's say you were raised in a very wealthy family, and your dad was a big time lawyer or whatever, doctor or whatever, and your mom didn't do really anything but kind of be a homemaker, right? How do you view your mom? Do you view her as an amazing mom, or and let's say there were times when maybe the dad treated her less than, right? Mm-hmm. Do you view your mom as weak, or do you view your mom as like faithful? Mm-hmm. Like, how do you view her? You know?
Like, do you view her as less than your dad? But a lot of that has to do with how children watch their parents treat each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're constantly seeing your dad barking out orders and your mom's just all docile and just, doing whatever she needs to do for you guys, and then he's always gone, you're going to think that he's the head authoritarian. I can never say that. Mm-hmm. That's not even the word, is it?
It's not, but go ahead. Come on, Tori.
What
Torian.
is it? Head.
I'm not gonna get stuck on this because there was another episode where I got stuck on some medication or a disorder or something.
Ambient.
There you go. Yeah.
So, anyways, he's gonna be the head disciplinarian, mm-hmm. and then the children usually fear the dad. You know what I mean? And women will be like, "I'm gonna tell your dad," you know. But that makes you view your mom as, oh, well, she can't handle it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just gonna disrespect her. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just one thing that I hate seeing from men who want to claim to be a provider but ain't bringing nothing, and then want to ask me for something. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I think I think even if you're a provider, I mean, God has blessed you to be in that situation, and also society has blessed you. Let's be real. I mean, you did something like that. You have to perform whatever the job that is, but don't get so full of yourself that you're forgetting that one day you're not going to have that job, and you're still going to have that person. Yeah. And what residual damage exists after y'all have retired, and it's like time for y'all to like spend what y'all have built. Yeah. And you've done so much of saying, I brought this is mine, blah, blah, blah. Why would she want to even stick around? And
if you're a true provider, I think that's absolutely amazing. And I think that's beautiful. Yeah. But I also feel that provider just doesn't stop at money. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Women are providers of love, emotional support, all these. I'm making dinner, so sorry if y'all hear that. Women are providers. Yeah, it's gender roles. That's my role.
It's gender roles.
Women are providers at being nurturing, supportive, and all these, emotional things. Typically, more women are like that. And so I don't like to think that a provider is just, making money. Yeah. I just, when you hear it on society, people put provider with money. Yeah. It's, they're providing for the family. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. That's something that just kind of irks me.
The one thing I will say, and I'm glad you brought that up. The one thing I will say, just a kind of a pro tip, I think, to a lot of women. I think this might be controversial. I think a lot of women like to take care of so many things in the house because they like to be in control. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you just take a step back and require and or allow that man to take care of the kids more or household chores more, that might empower him more to be able to say, okay, I'm going to do this. Now, I'll give an example, little dirty laundry about us. Mm-hmm. So you are you have a very focused view when it comes to decorating our home. You already know where I'm going. Mm-hmm. You have a very focused.
I'm glad you said that.
Controlling.
No.
Yes. It's your vision, and you know what? I'm good with it. Mm-hmm. The one time when I'm like,
he will never let this go.
Ever. The one time I was like, you know what? I'm going to make an executive decision, and I don't do that in this house. Like, I'm not the type of person that's like, my way, but I'm not like that. So I was like, we need a new bed comforter, and I'm going to purchase it. So right before I hit buy, I contacted you. I was like, hey, babe. And I was feeling good, too. A lot of wind in my sail and everything else. And I was like, babe, I'm about to buy us a new bed comforter. We've been needing one, blah, blah. First question she asked is, what color is it?
Yes.
And I was like, does it matter?
Yes.
Because you've never asked me colors that you bought. Never.
Yeah, I never have.
And then I think you said something like you don't feel comfortable. Why all of a sudden are you trying to buy something or something like that?
No, what it was is you were like, why does it matter? I said, because I have a whole color scheme. Like, it has to go with the rest of the color scheme.
But
and
I'm
you're
not
like
colorblind.
but it was like it was not matching.
No, it matched. It matched.
It didn't.
But we laugh about it now. But again, that is a classic. That's a classic example of how I feel like some women have a very focused way that they want things to be ran. And that can come across from a man's point of view as being controlling.
I understand that.
And so to not ruffle the feathers, the man is like, she in control. All right. Are you ready for the spicy margarita question?
I am.
All right. It's going to have some tahini and some jalapeno seeds.
I like it.
So, brace yourself.
Okay. Bracing.
Let's say you have a relationship, a marriage, and this person has always fulfilled certain roles. And let's say they're like, you know what, they've just fell off, and they're not helping you, right? Let's say, you know, y'all done had all these kids. He or she used to be a provider, used to spend a lot of time, like curate the house, all these kind of things. And they're just not doing it anymore. Is that grounds for terminating the relationship?
It depends, because if you continue to ask them for help, or if you continue to communicate with them and they're just refusing not to, that's a huge sign of disrespect. And that's one boundary that I'm not okay with allowing to be crossed.
It's
disrespect.
Interesting because, like, let's say there's no infidelity. There's no blatant disrespect. It's just that they're not fulfilling those roles.
Well, when you like your partner, and love them, you're going to want to do anything to help them.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's a blatant sign of disrespect. And you might as well just tell me you don't like me enough to help me. Because when I'm telling you, I need help in this, or I'd like you to do this more, or whatever, I don't need you just to do it for a little bit. And then it's just like, okay, bye. Especially with little trivial things, cool.
Yeah.
But it's when it's a big issue, when you see I'm visibly stressed out, or I'm visibly not happy, and I'm pleading with you, can you please help me? And you continue to not do it.
Yeah.
You're telling me you don't like me enough. You don't love me enough to want to help me.
Yeah.
So why am I here? I'm wasting my time.
You know, I agree with you. I think that change without consistency is a breeding ground for resentment. And so if you used to do something and you might be changing, but if your partner's like, I don't like that anymore, and you only change temporarily without consistently being different, I do think that you're kind of making your own bed, and you're going to have to lie in it. And one day that person is going to say, I've already done all these roles.
What do I need you for?
You have no more roles in this movie. You're not even an extra.
Yeah. If I'm writing, directing, producing, acting, what do I need you for?
I don't need you. So tip to all the relationships: if you're the Tyler Perry or the Eddie Murphy in your own film of relationships, you shouldn't be in that relationship. It's
not sustainable.
No.
Unless you just want another child.
Yeah.
You know, someone else to take care of.
Yeah.
Because what are you doing? Because there's always a person who's willing to do what that other person ain't going to do it gladly. They're willing to do it.
And this goes for males and females.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I would say there's probably lots of, like, I call them new age pimps. You know, they're really good at video games. You know, they work a job.
Yeah.
But then after that is Mountain Dew and video games and, you know, handles and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then there's several women that are like Gucci this, Prada that, and all they want to do is be prim and proper and everything, but they don't want to lift a finger to even help out around the house.
Yeah.
You know, unless that's your thing, unless you want a gamer and you want a, you know, a Beverly Hills Hollywood chick.
Yeah.
I mean, I get
listen, different folks for, what is it? Strokes for different folks?
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But yes, you like what you like. If you're cool with it, I love that for you.
Yeah.
But I know for me personally, I don't want another man child to raise.
Yeah.
Nor scratch that. I don't want to be in a one-sided relationship. Like I kind of mentioned it earlier. I don't want to be a single married mom.
Yeah.
Because people say, oh, that doesn't exist. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And then it's kind of nasty. So like if you treat them like a boy, but you're being intimate with them.
Yeah, no. I don't even want to think like that.
Yeah, think about it.
But it's like when I say, when I say single married woman or single married mom, that's when, you have a person. Technically, you're married. You have a person that's there. But you're doing literally everything by yourself. Yeah. Literally everything. Yeah. And they're just existing.
But with that, at some point in time, that person isn't the antagonist. Mm-hmm. Because if you're continuing to accept that out of him or her, then I mean, I don't expect for that person to change. No,
they're not going to change.
Yeah, I don't even expect them to.
You're an enabler at that point.
Yeah.
Now it's different if you did speak up and say something, but if you're not saying anything, because you're afraid that they're going to get mad or whatever, then another red flag.
Yeah.
Then I mean, you have to say, you can't complain if you're not trying to speak your boundaries.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves to have boundaries, no matter if you're single or in a relationship.
Yeah.
And it is okay for your boundaries to change as well in the middle of it all.
And expectations.
I
think it's okay because, like, I mean, again, like, if I'm out here and I'm continuing to succeed and everything else, you don't have to match me, but you got to match my drive.
But everything is okay as long as you communicate.
True.
Don't just change up and then not say nothing and then get mad and resent your partner because they have no idea of the change within you that you know.
You're right. You're right. Because I'm going to tell you, when I learn how to fly, if your ass ain't out there trying to learn how to fly, I'm out of here, man. I'm flying out of here in a minute, man. I've been working on it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Good luck. Try it on the roof. Let's see.
Yeah, see, audience, haters are everywhere. But when I fucking fly to the moon, when I land on that dark side of the moon.
Let's see. Let's go practice. Let's see.
Yeah, okay. Well, again, that's love right there.
Well, I appreciate you and your support in our relationship. Honestly, you really are a good friend, and I can tell that you love me and like me.
I do,
because you support and you help around. So I don't do laundry. I sometimes do dishes.
That's my thing.
I never
that's
take the trash out.
Doing dishes is my jam. I don't
wash my car. I hardly ever lift a finger to do gas. Like, I'm very, very blessed, and I know this, and I'm very appreciative, and I hope that I show you in many ways how much I appreciate you.
You do, but you do a lot of things. So the amazing house, if you've ever been to our house, all of this focused decorating is done amazingly by my wife. I mean, last weekend, I leave to go work out. I come back and the front yard is completely redone. And I'm just like, where did you find the time to do this? It looks amazing, but you did all of that? So I am, that's the hustle I'm talking about. And I'm like, even how you plan things for us and me and the kids, I'm super attracted to that. Right. Oh. So you bring just as many talents as I do, and that's what makes us amazing.
We make a good team, Shazita.
Cool.
Love you.
Love you too.
We love you guys too.
Yep.
And thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe on all of our platforms. Please
tell somebody.
Yeah. If you love us, you share this video.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for your support, and thank you for all the new listeners. We were out this weekend and we had a lot of people saying that, oh my gosh, we watch y'all or whatever.
Surprised.
It was so nice and heartwarming. So thank you so much for your support. Love you guys.
All right.